Thank you, Madam Clerk. I would like to begin, I think, by thanking my colleague, the gentleman from New York, Mr. Jeffries, and welcoming all of the members and the families who are here with us today. Madam Clerk, we gather today in this magnificent place, in this body, a place where there is no other like it in the world, the United States House of Representatives, the People's House. This is the place where the great battles and debates about human liberty and freedom have been waged since the beginning of our republic. It was on these grounds, Madam Clerk, that Abraham Lincoln sought to heal this nation in his second inaugural address. It was here that we passed the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, guaranteeing equal protection under the law. It was here, Madam Clerk, in this chamber, 100 years ago this year, that we passed the 19th Amendment, granting women the right to vote. I would point out, Madam Clerk, finally catching up with my home state of Wyoming, the first place in all the world where women had suffrage beginning in 1869. Now, Madam Clerk, we have not always gotten it right. One legislator famously said, quote, "We have the power to do any damn fool thing we want, and we seem to do it about every 10 minutes. Madam Clerk, that was a senator. And a Democrat. On this ground, Madam Clerk, we have inaugurated presidents and mourned them, declared wars and celebrated peace, debated all the issues facing this great republic down through the years. Today, as we take our oath of office, Democrat and Republican alike, we inherit that legacy and that duty to defend and protect our Constitution. Madam Clerk, it is my high honor today to have the great privilege to nominate the gentleman from California, Mr. McCarthy, to lead us in that work as Speaker of the United States House of Representatives. Leader McCarthy is the grandson of a cattle rancher. He is the son of a firefighter. He grew up in a working-class family. He started and ran his own small business, Kevin O's in Bakersfield. He paid his way through college, and he learned firsthand that the government of the United States is more of a burden than a help to small businesses all across this country. No one has fought harder, Madam Clerk, for the rights and freedoms of American families, to ensure that they get to keep more of what they earn so that the American dream is accessible to all. No one has been a greater champion of ensuring our government is limited, exercising its constitutional obligations to defend our rights, and resisting the urge that our colleagues on the other side of the aisle constantly seek to fulfill of empowering federal bureaucrats to tell us how to live. Leader McCarthy will always look for ways to work with our colleagues on the other side of the aisle when we can, but he will never compromise on our fundamental rights and freedoms. Leader McCarthy knows our rights come from God. They are enshrined in our Constitution. He knows government is not the source of our liberty. Rather, it is instituted among men and women to secure our liberty. Leader McCarthy has led us through the 115th Congress in unmatched historic productivity, including passage of the historic Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, because we know, Madam Clerk, that the American people know better than the government how to spend their money. Leader McCarthy led us in passage of the Support Act, providing important resources to help address the devastating opioid crisis across this nation. He helped work to pass the VA Mission Act so that we could finally provide our veterans with the care that they deserve. Leader McCarthy led us in repealing historic numbers of Obama-era regulations that were strangling families, small businesses, and community banks all across our nation. He was the leader. He was the leader in the important fight to combat human trafficking. And Madam Clerk, Leader McCarthy led us in passing legislation to secure our borders, keep our nation safe, and the devastating practice of sanctuary cities, and yes, Madam Clerk, build the wall. Leader McCarthy also led to ensure that we passed the American Health Care Act to expand access and options and put patients and families in the driver's seat, not government bureaucrats. And finally, Leader McCarthy made sure that we passed on time and at a sufficient level, for the first time in a decade, appropriations to fund the United States Armed Forces to fulfill our most sacred and important constitutional duty. Madam Clerk, because he will lead us in fighting for all the people of this great nation from all walks of life, because he will stand against the fraud of socialism, which strips power from the people and gives it to the government, because he knows that the most important words of our founding document are the very first words, we the people. As chair of the House Republican Conference, I am honored and directed by the vote of that conference to present for election to the office of the Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 116th Congress the name of the Honorable Kevin McCarthy, a representative-elect from the state of California.